Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to today's episode of Happiness After Codependency. I'm Marshall Bircher, and we'll see if this actually works today. Get some live broadcasting, maybe. So if this is working, let me know in comments below. But again, welcome. If you're new to me, I'm Marshall Bircher, and I help codependents rediscover their well-being, their happiness after narcissistic abuse. I help them accomplish that by coming to know, love, and live who they are. In our current series right now, The Nature of Healing, we're going into episode 4, which is about organic and emergent healing versus forced, planned, or coerced healing. So in this series, we're discussing how healing works, the necessity of nurturing our needs in that healing so that we make that happen, support it, and how that fosters inner connection, interdependence, and ultimately leads us to actual healing that lasts. Healing being that we grow out of where we've been and into something new and bigger for ourselves. So before we get started with that, I'm going to invite you to join the community. The community is your safe haven here on the internet where you can find tools, guidance, and support in your journey beyond codependency. The link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening in on the podcast, you can go to the description below, or you can go to www.freetheself.com and click on community up in the menu, and it'll take you right to it. So let's get this shared out to the community real quick here. Let me know how you guys are doing in the posts below. It's nice to see you all. And voila. Okay. So today, the nature of healing, episode 4, organic and emergent healing versus forced, planned, or coerced healing. So in my journey out of codependency, my journey in healing, I had to learn a lot about, and I learned this over and over, about what healing really is and how it functions. So a lot of times we get into healing with an objective in mind. I want to get to a specific place. I want to feel a specific way. I want to do something specific with this thing. I want to get there. And we're usually doing it to get out of pain, get out of a situation, solve a problem, avoid a problem, that kind of thing. This is what I would call coerced, forced healing. It's we're doing the healing to get to a result, rather than entering healing from an angle of discovery, coming into a curiosity about what am I going to learn in this. That's one of the big challenges in actual healing, is letting go of the outcome, letting go of the result, and instead learning to receive that result. This is what connects us to an organic or emergent experience. And I have found that healing that works this way, when we're going towards organic or emergent healing, it requires us to come back to ourselves frequently. It invites us to go a little deeper into our experience as a human being and get more connected both to our needs, to our wants, to our feelings, and to our lived experience. We actually have to enter a practice, what I call legitimization, where our feelings, our needs, our wants become real to us. They become valid, they become legitimate, they have the right to take up space, to belong, to be witnessed, to be acknowledged, and to be cared for. Because a lot of times, especially those of us dealing with codependency, we've been abused and we have been neglected. And it's through that experience of neglect that we did not receive what we needed in order to feel loved, seen, and valued, in order to feel real, to feel realized, to feel seen in a way that acknowledges our lived experience, to feel understood, to feel real to another person. And organic healing invites us to start doing that for ourselves. We have to start seeing our own legitimacy. And one of the most powerful ways we can start doing that is with our 10 core needs. So in a previous episode, I talked about the 10 core needs and how they interplay with our healing, how they expand us into healing and how healing expands them. They have this interdependency with each other. So real healing is dependent on these 10 core needs, and these 10 core needs fulfillment is dependent on our ability to let ourselves grow. So when we get connected back to our needs and we start bringing them into validity, our healing is able to expand. It's able to expand in a way that guides us back into discovery of who we are. Because there's one thing trauma does, and it does it to everyone when they go through trauma, is it freezes their state of identity. They become locked into being this particular type of person, locked into this particular kind of experience, and then they're frozen in that, and that's what they've got to be. That happens because the body and the brain move into a freeze state. And in that freeze state, all it's trying to do is survive what it perceives as a threat and navigate that until it can get out of it. Now, if we never escape the threat, we never discover the world beyond the threat, then we are stuck perpetually in that freeze state. We go through what's called a freeze-fawn loop, and that emerges into, or that shows up as codependency, that shows up as rigidity in our identity of who we can and cannot be, the way we've always been, will always be that way, that kind of thinking. Very black and white, very all or nothing thinking shows up. When we come back to our needs and we start legitimizing those core needs and we start fulfilling them, what's happening is we're restoring connection to ourself, to our emergent self, the self that wants to grow and discover and expand into its own sovereignty, and it wants to define and discover itself. That allows healing to help us do that, because healing really isn't about fixing anything. It's about discovering who we are beyond something, whether it's beyond shame, whether it's beyond the event itself, beyond the intensity of those emotions, beyond the conclusions we created about it. And this beyondness is what connects us back to us, because that's the whole point of healing, is to really grow into ourselves. It's like, who am I now? Who do I want to be? That allows us to really understand us. And that's the organic aspect of healing. Because organic healing isn't going to be linear. It isn't going to be logical. It's going to be guided by a wisdom that makes sense once it's done. So it's a hindsight kind of view on ourselves and on our emergence, because we don't know what it is. We don't know who we're going to be. We get to choose it. We get to discover what that feels like. We get to discover what the world is like from that point of view. And that's how we connect back to ourselves and come into a maturity of ourselves. Because as we're meeting those 10 core needs, we're nurturing them within ourselves and within healthy interdependent connection with others. We begin to mature because we realize I'm safe to meet these needs. These needs are good. These needs are valuable. They're valued by others. They're valued by me. And my healing is allowing me to have more capacity to access those needs, to receive and to contribute in those needs, as well as reinforce the healing and amplify that healing so it grows and it expands for us. That's why they're interdependent. That's why I have a huge focus in this course on them, because they're essential to our well-being, is meeting those needs. From there, we emerge. So if we come into healing with pressure, with an expectation of getting to a particular outcome, trying to make something happen, trying to be a certain way, trying to get a particular result, we're going to fail. We're going to get frustrated. We're not going to succeed. That's because healing doesn't work that way. Healing is an embrace of self. And then it's a discovery of who we are beyond that embrace. It's like, okay, well, this is where I'm at. We can acknowledge it. We can legitimize it. We can allow that to integrate. We can meet those needs, nurture them, and see what grows out of that experience. This is why I look at healing as a journey back to you, and then a journey into what brings you joy, well-being, and happiness. This also keeps us stuck, or keeps us out of being stuck in healing loops. We're always fixated on trying to fix the next thing, because in this model of healing, there's nothing to fix. We're just going to go out, and we're going to live our lives, we're going to learn new things, we're going to resolve what shows up within us, we're going to bring love and care and nurture to those needs and to those wants, and we're going to discover what that brings us. That's all we do. Discover, Come home, evaluate, discover, come home, evaluate. I come home, I adventure out, I come home, I adventure out. Round and round we go. Pam says, this makes much sense about black and white thinking and being stuck in an early formed identity. Yeah, we're really stuck there because, well, we got to survive first. The brain's job's first priority is to survive. And if it's not able to secure that survival, it's going to stay there until it can. And once it has, then it will emerge into something else. And this happens at any age. About 40% of the people I work with are 50 years old and older. And I've seen them transform their lives. So this isn't an age-related thing. This is an internal nurture thing. This is something that's within us that needs to be cared for. And it starts with those 10 core needs. So that's my training today, my friends. Excited to have you here. Now, I've got an opportunity for you because the Nurture course is open for enrollment. This is my 8-week course that takes you deep on coming to identify and understand your needs and make them real to you and then fulfill them, both within yourself and within healthy interconnection with others. This is going to help propel your healing forward. Most of the students that take it have discovered a huge growth in their sense of confidence, peace, security, and wholeness by nurturing these needs. In fact, a lot of them have been able to find and discover, or rather experience, needs they never thought they could get fulfilled, getting fulfilled. Because the nurture process helps us meet needs that we didn't think we'd ever get met. And we can do that in a couple of different ways, both through interconnection and through what I call intraconnection with ourselves. I teach you how to do that through a process I call the nurture process, which helps us create what's called internal nurture objects and external nurture objects that we can rely on and access to help us meet our needs and then help us grow in our healing and succeed in our objective of becoming more and more happy, more and more safe, more and more deep within our own well-being. So enrollment is open for the live version of the Nurture course. The link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube. It starts October 4th. I teach the class twice on class days. That would be October 4th is a Monday. I teach at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Mountain time, which would be Boise, Idaho time at that point. And I'm going to teach you how to, again, identify those needs, make them real to you, and then fulfill them. So we start October 4th. We end November 28th. The link again for the info is above on Facebook, below on YouTube. I invite you to come join us fulfilling that, because if you're feeling empty, lonely, and disconnected, this is what we're going to help you remedy. We're going to help you fulfill that emptiness, fill it up with connection and with love, restore a sense of belonging, both with yourself and with others. And that will ultimately end that loneliness, because you're going to realize and feel like, hey, I've got connection both within me and outside of me. So there you go. So today, guys, if you're looking at your healing, you're doing that work in your world, make sure you're coming from that organic perspective. And the way you can do that is by giving yourself permission to discover what you experience in your healing and giving yourself the chance to see what you learn as you do the practices you're doing, as you apply the things that you're learning in your world. That's how we discover it. So there you go. That's today's training. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping, and I will see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.